In the second semester, it will be a bit detailed study with reference to the marketing mix. That is product, price, place, and promotion. So here, in detail, different strategies are included. So today we will start with the first P of the marketing mix. Now marketing mix acts as a tool in the hands of the marketers. When they think of marketing the product or any service, okay, here the firm or a company takes into consideration the basic marketing mix. And many a times these work as a tool in the hands of the marketers. Now let me share the PPT. Whether the PPT is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now here the first P is the product. In our day-to-day life, we use many items, goods, products, or services, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Since morning till night, till you sleep, we are associated with this product. Now, basically, what is a product? One can say a product is a good, it is a service or idea consisting of bundle of tangible and intangible attributes that satisfies consumers and is received in exchange for money or some other unit of value. Now, this is the basic, the definition actually. Now here, any product which serves our purpose, which we use, that satisfies our need, is a offering product, or any service which satisfied our need. It may be the basic or augmented. Any idea, okay, that is what it means. It consists of a bundle of tangible and intangible attributes. Bundle of tangible attributes, tangible, which we can see, feel, taste, have look at it, the size, shape, even taste the flavor. So depending upon the product, these tangible attributes, they differ. And what is intangible? Then intangible means which we cannot see easily, which is not visible, which is hidden. That is intangible attributes. It could be a value satisfaction. It could be the functioning of the product. It can be the after effect of the product usage, that is the results by using a particular product. So that is intangible attribute, intangible benefit which the customer seeks. Now here, many of the customers, they prefer branded products. What is a brand? Now here, slowly and steadily, when the customer gets acquainted and the customer gets satisfaction, when the product penetrates into the market, it has a good and better quality, then we say it creates its brand image. So many a times, using a particular product of a particular brand, okay, gives satisfaction to the customers. Now this is related to the psychological part, psychological satisfaction. So this is again the intangible attribute. Now, when you buy any product, does it come for free? No, unless and until it is a gift, isn't it? So that's why here exchange of money or some other unit of value is included, the digital payments and all. So this is about the definition of the product or an offering. In general, product is any offering by the companies which satisfies the need of the people in general. This is the understanding what do you mean by the product. It's an object made available for consumer use. The marketers, the manufacturers produce the products to serve the purpose of the customers. It satisfies the desire or need of the customers. That is the prime objective of manufacturing a product and offering it to the customers. The customer in exchange pays money for the product purchased. Now the role of product as a market offering. The product or service that satisfies need of the customer. Now, basic thing is any product or service should be able to satisfy the need. We use mobile handsets, isn't it? It's a mixture of product as well as service, isn't it? Your handset becomes the product and the service provider is the services. Similarly, in day-to-day life, we use the services. We use electricity, the water supply. We go to the restaurants, we travel. So somewhere or the other, we are satisfying the needs by using these products or services. Features or characteristics is the prime important thing of the product or the services. Now here, previously, we have studied in the previous semester, the marketing concept was based basically on the production concept. The companies, the organizations used to produce in masses and distribute. There was very less competition. The needs were less. But today, if you see, with the more and more competitive environment, more and more companies coming ahead with different products, the availability of the features or the characteristics of the product or the offering have gained prime importance. And also, the differentiation part plays a very important role as far as this features is considered. Whenever, suppose you go to any shop to buy any product, your basic question would be, what are the features in this? If you ask for a handset, if you want to purchase a television, so you would like to ask, what are the features? That's a very natural question which comes in the minds of the customers. So that is what is features or characteristics. And then while buying, there is comparison. You try to compare the features of one product with the other or one service with the other. So here somewhere these features help you in decision making process. The more options the companies give in features, the more variety is given to the customer, better the customer has a variability as far as choice is considered. Next is the brand name or logo. Now, brand name in itself is a very broad term. The company, any company, it cannot start. It may be a startup initially. It cannot go blindly. It should have a name, the name of the company. Even the products, they do have name. So here, when the people start accepting the product, when they start liking the quality of the product, they get satisfied with the product in spite of price. Many of the products, they are not conscious. Many of the customers, they are not conscious about the pricing. Irrespective of the pricing, they would like to purchase a particular product as they believe, they perceive that it's of a very good quality. So when the customer starts looking at this quality angle and the satisfaction angle, slowly and steadily, this name of the product or name of the company starts penetrating into the market. It starts becoming popular, and then we say it's a brand name. Companies or the organizations take a lot of effort to satisfy the customer. It's not overnight that the companies or the product has gained the brand name. Logo is an indispensable part of product. Many of the companies just highlight the logos and customer comes to know that they can link this logo with the quality aspect, with the company, with the parent organization, with the corporation. So here logo also plays a very important role. Now coming on to the utility value. Utility value, that is, value is the exchange in between what the customer seeks and what the customer pays off. So here the customer, whenever the customer is purchasing a product, the customer is looking for the utility value of the product or the service. If I pay so and so amount, what would be the benefit I would be getting in return? Many a times they balance these things, try to make calculations, and then purchase the product. What is the utility value of it? Now here when we take into consideration this utility value, it's always with reference to the monetary part. Okay, understand this thing. That is the difference between utility value and the benefit. Utility value is with reference to the pricing. Whatever is the price I am paying and whether I get in return the benefit or the utility of that product. And benefit is just in irrespective of pricing, irrespective of money paid, what is the benefit the customer is getting by using the product. Now here the benefits may again be the functional aspect of the product. Functional aspect may be processing of the product. Suppose if it's a any product where the functional usage is being done, like washing machine, okay, the processing, the ease of operating it, that is functional. Cosmetic benefit is there. Cosmetic benefit, how it improves your cosmetic part. So if you see all the cosmetic industries, basically they stress on this cosmetic aspect feature of the product. Then there is medical value, medical benefit, medicinal benefit, we can say rather. And today, if you see, most of the companies are emphasizing on the medicinal benefit. On the backdrop of Corona, many of them, they are utilizing this tool of medicinal benefit and emphasizing on these things. So here, this is a type, what benefits we get in medicinal terms.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
What is medicinal benefits?
मेडिसिनल बेनिफिट बोलूँ अभी आपको एग्जांपल बोलूँ क्या?
Yes, ma'am.
Patanjali, Ramdev Baba advertising. Nowadays, if you see, they are into aggressive marketing. Those who those who get the time and have a glance of the television. Okay, the ad of the honey is there. So they are, or Dabur. Okay, they are stressing on the medicinal benefit. The concept based on Ayurvedic, okay, Ayurveda, they are again medicinal benefits. The soaps and all, which are based on the Ayurvedic concepts, okay, or the products which are based upon this. So here it adds to the medicinal benefit, they try to convince the customer that how the product is fit. Or we can say the herbal tea, that's which you see with respect to herbal tea. It's again the emphasis. The safflower oil, low cholesterol, that is again a medicinal benefit. So here many of the companies, they use this as a tool and create awareness. Understood this? Who had
Yes,
asked?
ma'am. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Now what? अभी पता चला कि ये एग्जैक्ट होता क्या है.
हाँ, तो मेडिसिनल बेनिफिट है. अगर सोप्स देखोगे आयुर्वेदिक है, जैसे मार्गो था या बाकी के थे, so they are basically using this as a tool, the ingredients which go into it. Okay, so coming to the next part is differentiation. Now here, as I said, that today's competitive market, everybody wants some USP in their product to be included. So these products should have some differentiation attribute, then only maybe they can make some unique space. As far as the customers is considered, the customer should perceive that the product has some differentiation value. Then only maybe they will purchase the product. They should have this USP. So every now and then, companies invest more in their research and development department to come up with the innovative products. Especially in the technology driven product category, you will see there are innovations taking place. Even in the flanker products also, you will find that they come up with the differentiation strategies, different flavors. Now differentiation means maybe different packages, different sizes, different shapes, different flavors, uh, different functional benefits. So all this is a part of differentiation which goes into the product. Now, any doubt as far as this part is considered? Okay. Now here we move to the next part. That is the mix of service and non-service element. Now this is also known as goods services continuum. I think we have studied this in the first semester.
Yes, ma'am. Could
Yes,
you
ma'am.
please repeat once again?
Just a moment.
Summarize once again.
So here, now see, at the one extreme, okay, you will see that a highly tangible product is there, and the other extreme, it's an intangible product. Now, basically, whether you have understood what is tangible, we have studied this in the previous semester also. The services and the products, how they are different. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Just now I explained you what is tangibility and tangible. Now here the durability of the product, the durables, the tangible. Suppose if you are crossing by a mithai shop, okay, you felt that I should buy some mithai. What is the first thing which you will do before purchasing the mithai?
We taste the flavor.
Yeah, you can taste the flavor. Okay. अभी आप एयरलाइन के इसमें जाओगे ऑफिस में बुकिंग के लिए, कैन यू जस्ट आस्क देम मुझे एक राइड लेना है, मैं जरा
No,
एरोप्लेन में बैठ के घूम
No,
के
ma'am.
आता हूँ, देन आई विल
no,
बुक.
ma'am.
It's not possible. Similarly, maybe when you are buying a car, आप बोल सकते हो मैं एक टेस्ट ड्राइव लेता हूँ, which is there, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
We can go for the test drives, that is possible. बट अगर आप रूम बुक कर रहे हो होटल में, उनको बोल सकते हो कि मैं देख सकता हूँ बट एक दिन रह के देखता हूँ, फिर आई विल कंटिन्यू, whether it's possible.
No, ma'am.
No. So that is the basic difference. In tangibility, you can see the size and the shape of the product. You can also experience. They say if you want to buy some clothing, what is the first thing? You will just hold the cloth in your hand and just see the texture of the clothing. You can have a look at the color also. You can try your shirts also. So this is what is tangibility. If you want to purchase a perfume, maybe a shampoo, oil, anything, you can have a look at the ingredients. Okay, so this is tangible. Intangible means when you cannot think of experiencing it unless and until you actually purchase it. Suppose you want to you want to watch a movie in a theater, you will have to purchase a ticket prior watching the movie, isn't it? And then
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can go inside and watch the movie and experience it and enjoy. So here, depending upon the different product categories, this quantum is divided from tangibility to the extreme intangibles. So here there is one example, maybe from the internet only I have taken this picture. There are some examples, maybe there may be other services or other products also. So here at one extreme is a highly tangible product, that is a can of a food. Maybe you have a physical can of a food. You may have furniture. You can have your laptop. You can have a handset mobile. All these are tangible products where before purchasing, you come to know the size of it, the shape of it, the contents of it. You can feel, touch, smell, taste. Okay, that is what is tangible. Then see here, if you see next example is of car, where blue part, majority of the part is blue, but very small part is denominated by this red. This red is intangible aspect. What is this intangible aspect as far as the car is considered? Now you purchase a car, okay, fine. But to maintain the car, what you require? You require the maintenance of the car, no?
Yes, ma'am.
करना पड़ता है ना,
Yes,
टू
ma'am.
व्हीलर फोर व्हीलर मेंटेनेंस, एंड
Insurance,
व्हाट यू डू फॉर
servicing.
दैट? सर्विसिंग को देते हो व्हीकल. So that
Yes.
small 20% part is a servicing part, which is intangible. Now, many of the automobiles or four-wheeler companies, if you survey, it has been found that ये जो red छोटा part है ना 20%, many of these companies, they gain the revenue from the service part rather than this tangible part. Because a customer purchase car once, okay, it's not that frequently a person goes and buys a car. एक महीने ले लिया, चलो 2 महीने बाद लेते हैं. It doesn't happen. But servicing के लिए आप frequently देते हो on a continuous basis. Okay? So that is the part where less tangibility, intangibility is there and more tangibility is there. Next is pre-made meal. Pre-made meal. What is pre-made meal? Instant foods. So here also, if you see the red part, intangible part is a bit more. And pre-made meal, it is a packet, it's a food, it's a pre-packaged. You need to cook it. The formula of whatever is inside is the intangible part. It is somebody's formula of the recipe. Okay. Then is the fast food, or you can say fast food joint, where the food is there and the packaging is there, which is a tangible part. Then formal restaurants is there, where actually you have 50-50%. Suppose the taste is very nice, okay, but the physical evidence, that is maybe the decor is not good, maybe the place is not attractive, not up to the mark, average also. Maybe the people will not like in spite of good food, I mean tasty food. Now I am not speaking about the tapris and all, where we already have many of the places you will find that the food is tasty, and people just come there to have the taste, irrespective of any physical evidence. I'm speaking of restaurants. Okay, so here it is expected that the quality of the food should be good. It should be preferred by the customers, as well as the decor should be good. That is 50-50% combination of tangible as well as intangible. Now here moving ahead, if you see the continuum, the red part is increasing and the blue part is decreasing. That is airline, if you take small part of physical evidence and the larger part of service. If you have the sitting arrangement very nicely, everything is very nice, and if the service is not good, then people will not like. So in-flight service quality does matter as far as this airline is considered. The next part is movies. So here also, if you see more of the intangible part and less of the tangible part. Similarly, hotels, just now I gave an example of the rooms, the decor. So service starts increasing and the product part, the tangible part starts decreasing. Similarly, education consulting, where you have more of the services. In education, the infrastructure or the tangible part plays a very less role, maybe 5 to 10%. Majority of the role is played by the intangible aspect. In consulting, it's totally intangible. The consultancy firm or the attributes or the services like medical practitioners, the lawyers, the consultants, all this come into this category where the tangibility has no role at all to play. It's totally intangible. Now understood this mix of service and non-service elements. Any doubts here?
No, ma'am.
No,
Got it.
ma'am.
Okay. So I will move ahead. So here we move to the next part, that is classification of consumer products. Now basically, why we should understand the classification of consumer products is with reference to these class of products, the marketing strategies, they differ. So all of these consumer products, they have their own unique features, which the companies or the managers should understand and frame strategies accordingly. Now here, now this classification of consumer products is also associated with the buying habits or consumer behavior part, and hence this part is being included. The first and foremost part is the convenience goods. Convenience goods which can conveniently be purchased. The staple goods, impulse goods, and emergency goods are the three parts here. That is subparts of this convenience goods. Now here, these convenience goods are the products which consumers they purchase with the less efforts, minimum shopping efforts. They are bought frequently, maybe on day-to-day basis like milk, maybe after 2-3 days like your vegetables, maybe groceries, staples. They are bought immediately. Maybe today I want to prepare something, I need it, I go. I need salt, I go and bring. Conveniently, maybe near your house, near your residence, you may have a small shops selling these type of goods. So they are called as convenience goods. Even decision making does not take much time because these goods are a part of your routine. They have certain common features. There is no much of the differentiation unless and until a customer is very much critic. They are generally non-durable, purchased at convenient locations. They are bought on the continuous basis. There are regular demands. Now, this is the features of the convenience goods. So the goods which we purchase on very frequently, they come into this category. Now, staple goods, all the staples which we purchase, they come into this good. What is impulse goods? Impulse goods. Maybe you do not have the intention and you purchase. They are the impulse goods. Suppose you went to purchase something and your eyes caught the sight of a particular good there, you just purchase. You like it, you feel like eating it, you purchase that. That is impulse goods. Emergency goods, which are bought in emergency, maybe uh, medicines, okay, where you don't have much plans, or maybe you have some guests and you need to serve something, there is nothing to serve, so that's why you order something or you go and bring something on the emergency basis. That is emergency goods. These all come into this convenience goods category. They are not that expensive also usually. Now it depends upon the affordability of the customers also. Now marketers of such products should know that they have to be made available within easy reach of the customers. So their distribution network should be much more stronger. Now the consumer is not prepared in such case to make a special shopping trip for buying such type of products. And here the possibility is that they readily switch to a substitute product or to competitors product. So you cannot think much as far as the customer loyalty is considered for the convenience goods. Now coming to the next part is the shopping goods. Now this is the reverse of the convenience good. Items like clothes, shoes, electrical appliances, etc., which are not purchased frequently, they come into this category. Since the goods they are not frequently purchased, people take more time in buying. They need to think, they need to spend time in making comparisons. There is no hurry also when they are shopping these goods. Many of the people, they just say we are on a shopping spree, so they have time, much of the time, so that they can invest that time while purchasing such type of goods. It involves comparison of products like price, quality, features, aesthetic value, suitability, etc. Now here the common features are like generally they are durable. Their price, high price is in contrast with the convenience goods. When we say they are the shopping goods, they are highly priced. Here comparison is the main factor in decision making process. Such products are specialized, or you can say they are non-standardized item. They are differentiated offers. That's why these are termed as shopping goods. Now, convenient goods marketers make their products available through many sale points, but that is not in case of the shopping goods. In case of shopping goods, normally they use smaller number of selling points. So here the customer has to visit the shops. But now because of internet revolution, even this thing has minimized. You can go for online shopping also. The next part is specialty goods, where special purchasing efforts and features are made by the customers. They are high priced goods and include products like cars, luxury watches, high priced clothing or dresses, ornaments, etc. They involve substantial investments and they are less frequently purchased, and hence as more money is involved, more time is spent. Here the comparison factor is absent in this case, as we had in the shopping goods. Since they are specialty goods, they reflect certain features. Now here there may be different aspects for the specialty goods, like the cost angle, that is highly priced, which reflects the utility value on the higher side, or the quality products. That is one thing. Second thing is the prestige. Maybe when the customer purchases the specialty goods, they feel the prestige in utilizing these goods. So it becomes a status symbol for the customers many a times. There is a possibility that entire family takes part in the decision making when you're purchasing a car and all. Now, since buyers of such products are prepared to make special efforts in buying them, the manufacturers need not have a wide distribution network. They deal through a small number of outlets located in potential markets only. They go for selective distribution. They sell the products through their own showrooms. Now, this is about the specialty goods. Now, here, in case of the specialty goods, there is limited demand. As I said, that they are highly priced, the luxurious products. So we have limited number of buyers who will be purchasing this. They are costly goods. They are sold at few places, and aggressive promotion is required here in this case. The companies, this is a challenging job for the marketers or the companies. They have to undertake high promotion. Now here the specialty goods may have one or more competitors also. So proving that our product is much better than the competitors is a challenge for the managers. The next part is the unsought goods. Unsought is the customers are not willing to purchase the goods or the services. Many of them, they feel that it's not necessary. Generally buyer, they does not think of buying the goods or the services. It requires more advertising, promotional efforts from the company. So much of the finance is required in pushing the product in the market. Now here if you see the selling of encyclopedias, today insurance has gained impetus, but previously a decade ago, people were not welcoming the idea of insurance. Suppose if an insurance agent dropped in at the doorstep, people used to say that no, we are not interested to purchase this, because the people, they were not aware of the benefits ahead. So such category of products come into this unsought goods. Even as far as the healthcare part is considered, unless and until somebody stresses the people, they don't think about it. Many of the doctors, they insist that the people should go for regular checkups. But unless and until the problem arises, people, they try to avoid. They try to avoid visiting the clinics. They try to avoid the surgeries. So it's all a unsought goods. They come into these categories. Now here this is about the consumer goods. Now any doubt as far as this part is considered?
No, ma'am.
Now we move on to the next part. These concepts are very simpler to understand, but when it comes to deciding on the promotion, that is the marketing mix part, the creation part, it is challenging. Now here the industrial goods are again divided into materials and parts, the capital items, the supplies, and the business services. Now, if you consider the first part, that is materials and parts, here also we have the raw materials and the manufactured materials. If we look into this raw materials, there are the farm products and the natural products. Now, what is the difference between this? The natural products, okay, totally natural at the core, are just taken and they are packaged and sold. There is no processing as such. But when it comes to farm products, that is, you collect from the natural resources, you process it, and then you sell it. That is the farm products. The manufactured materials, that is the component materials as well as the component parts are there. Now here, basically, when we are speaking in terms of industrial goods, so understand the buyers are the manufacturers. The sellers, these industrial goods, they are selling in bulk quantity. Okay. So here the component material is the raw material which the one company is selling to the other. The other company is purchasing this component material to prepare or to assemble some other product. That is the component material. On component parts, that is, the parts are already made and they are used as an input in some other product. That's why we say it's a component part. Coming to the capital items, it includes the installations as well as the equipments. Now, equipments comes close to machineries also. Some equipments or the machineries also here. And installations is the service part. The supplies include the maintenance and the operating supplies. Maintenance again is a part of a service. The companies, they take care of the maintenance, and operating supplies, maybe if for the purpose of operations in the production you need certain supplies. If the company or the firm needs the stationaries in a bulk quantity, that is the supplies. If the computer is there, it has to be maintained, that comes into the maintenance. If the machinery is there which requires regular service and maintenance, that comes into the maintenance. So these nowadays these are outsourced to the companies which take care of the maintenance or the operating supplies. Similarly, business services, maintenance and advisory. Business services, suppose I have a website. Okay, I need to maintain the website, update it every now and then. If the new information comes, I need to upgrade it, I need to edit it, maintain it. So I'm just giving it to that job to somebody else, some company. So that is the maintenance part. Similarly, advisory. In my business, I need legal advisors. So they are there on the board. I need consultants. They are there. That is what is the advisory, which is a part of the service. Both of them, they are with reference to the services. Now here in detail with examples, there are the points. I explained just the flow chart. Now, as I said, there are farm products and the natural products. Farm products, they are reproduced or recycled, perishable in nature. That is, they are not durable. Now, these are frequently purchased. I have given some example like milk, cheese, fruits, vegetables, cotton, wheat, jawar, which these are directly consumed by the customers, as well as when we take the industrial goods into consideration, these go as an input for some other product. Natural products, as I said, they are naturally found, they are scarce, they cannot be recycled. They are high priced because they are scarce, like petrol, diesel, minerals, diamonds, where there is government intervention. Since they are scarce in nature, there is government intervention. Manufactured materials, the component materials and the component parts. So here, if you take an example of the iron ore, which is used as an input in a steel industry. Again, the steel can be used in utensils parts, steel can be used in the automobile industry, it can be used in the construction industry. So here, the usages may be many. If you consider the component parts, it may be for the allied industries. So here the design and the skill, it does matter. If you consider the installations, the examples are warehousing, building, factories, and equipments. I gave an example of a machinery, basically. The caterpillars, the trucks, the cranes, lathe machines. These are used as equipments, the tools, computers in the organization. Now here operating supplies, I had given you an example of a stationery, the notepads, lubricants which are used. And lastly, discuss the business services. Now here, based upon the category of the product, the marketing strategies are modified or molded accordingly. That's why they are important. Now the next part is product hierarchy. These products hierarchy levels, they include the product need. The product need means basically why the product exists. The core or reason for the existence of this product. If you see any product which we are using, there is some or the other reason, then only we use that product. Product family. In product family, the core need is satisfied by a product as its focus. Product class. Product class occurs when categories are drawn from the same company. Product line, that is into which category of product it is. Product type is like specification of the product, and product unit is a discrete item within a product type of brand that can distinguish itself.
माझ्यासारखं वागू नको सायको असले कोट्या श्वासामध्ये एकी बंद.
It is a discrete item within a product type of brand that can distinguish itself by size, price, or any other comparative feature. So if you take an example of it, I have given an example of a toothpaste to make you understand these terms. Okay. If you take an example of a toothpaste like Colgate, the basic need is feel good factor. If you have this feel good product, what is the family? It comes into the toiletries. If you take chocolates, maybe again feel good factor, confectionaries. The product class is dental care here, and there may be the taste buds. If you consider the product line, here it's the toothpaste. A company may be having more than one product lines. That I will discuss later in the next session. Product type of a toothpaste. For example, if it's a gel toothpaste, that is product type, and product unit or item is a variant. Variant like Colgate Gel Red 125 grams. So here it specifies something maybe by its size. So here you can frame for any other products the product hierarchy. Now the next part we will discuss in the next session.
Okay, ma'am.
Since I won't be able to finish today. Today we will stop here.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.